welcome to Braves Meets, the show that lets you meet the folks behind the Braves through their favourite music. Today we've got a very special guest on. See, before the Braves and before even Edgy Sport, there was Chris Ewing, a very tall wee guy from the south side of Glasgow who now spends his days in Altbury. But today he's back in the Deer Green place to sift through the LPs here at Assai Records, Glasgow store on Sucky Hall Street. So without further ado, let's get out of this sunshine and go and meet Chris.
Hello.
How you doing, big man?
How are you?
Good to see you.
Yeah, man, you good?
So where do you want to start?
Start where you want.
I think you'll be interested in this section over here. There's a band that I know that you're into. Follow me. What does this band mean to you?
This band, the Fontaines DC. That was actually, they're probably the band of the year, I think, the Fontaines DC are coming from Dublin. I think they called themselves the Fontaines first, but there's a band in America called the Fontaines, I think there's actually even a band in Glasgow called the Fontaines now. So they had to put DC in the end of it, Dublin City. And I actually saw them in Paris just last month actually. They're just doing their tour, as you probably know, and they were in Paris, and I took my daughter to the gig, so that was the first gig that she's been to with me. She went to a festival in Portugal to see Dua Lipa, I think. So,
right.
But this is the first cool band that she's seen.
Cool band.
So that was cool. And she actually had the Braves kit on. There's photos, I'll show you the photos. The Fontaines DC, great band, and obviously, they get something to say for themselves, so that's all good as well,
So what's that like, having a family over in France with your own sort of English language music taste? How does that translate to them, the wee ones?
Aye, bro. I mean, it's just I think music's for me. In any case, it plays a big part in my life, and that means it transcends into our family life. Because in the morning, the first thing I do, I make a coffee and I put on music, and I try to get the energy in the house up. Sometimes they'll tell me turn that down, because when I'm getting Fontaines DC, belaying at 8:30 in the morning before they go to school. But that's what it's all about, and thankfully enough, Josephine, she's 15, she plays a wee bit of the guitar herself. Eloise, who's only 12, but plays a wee bit of piano. And Josephine, who's 15, is at that age where she's starting to get into music herself, and it's getting that identity through music, And I think that's what it is, isn't it? Music is kind of what your identity is, where you come from, what your culture is, your community, what your values are as well. Another Neil Young, Neil Young, obviously, legend. Still, I've never seen him playing though. Never seen him playing, always looking at it, but he's getting on now, so I hope I get an opportunity to see him playing. So, Scottish, they made in Scotland. Right, so this band here, Delgados, I was saying earlier on, I used to work in Nice and Sleazy's. Those guys, I've seen them, they used to, in Nice and Sleazy's, a lot of these artists used to come in for beers. Like Franz Ferdinand, when they were just young guys at uni, they were just coming in for a pint, and then ended up making it really famous. It's brilliant to see. Delgados as well, similar to that. Saw Delgados actually in Paris, going back a number of years. Casino de Paris, I think it was called. In Oberkampf in Paris, so that was cool to see them. I think I was saying as well, Delamitri, I was just speaking to one of the owners. One of the owners in America, I think he's in Wisconsin or Missouri, I'm not sure. But he's actually friends with Justin Curry, and Justin Curry's name came up in conversation just last week actually. One of my favourite ever bands, Mogwai. Mogwai, actually probably their best, for me anyway, one of the best albums, Come On Die Young. I don't know if it's in here. No, but anyway, so Mogwai, great band. In fact, again, I saw them in Nice and Sleazy. I saw them in Nice and Sleazy for the first time in front of maybe about 100 people. And it's great now to see them worldwide famous. They do sold out concerts in Tokyo and all over the world. And just Glasgow boys. I think actually Stuart's from Hamilton. Stuart, the kind of top man in there. Big Celtic fans. Seems like all the cool bands are big Celtic fans, so that's the only thing, yeah?
Yeah, what can I say?
Speaking of Celtic fans, Primal Scream, another Glasgow's finest. This song Come Together inspired us with the Braves. On the kit we have, on the back of it we have Because Together We Get Power. It's a lyric from that song, but that's an absolutely fantastic album, probably one of the best albums in my lifetime anyway. I had Come Together on repeat for so long, on a great band.
I think we've got one from Primal Scream that's hiding back here. This new one. Have you listened to much of this?
I've listened to bits of it. I've not had the time to actually go through it all, but I've heard it's a belter actually. I've heard it's a really, really good album.
It is a belter, I'll tell you much. There's a song on it, if we look at the back, I think it's the second song on. No, first one, actually, Ready to Go Home. A song that I think would resonate with a lot of the owners.
An honourable mention as well to Cat Power. I don't know if you know Cat Power.
Tell us all about it.
Shan Marshall, she's my hero, man. I used to fancy her so much when thought she was beautiful, loved her voice, loved her music, and she came to play with. I was working in 13 Notes, she played over in Mono just across the road, and I tried to get in and I had to stand up the back because I couldn't get in. I just looked up to try and get a glimpse of her. So shout out to Shan Marshall from Cat Power. If you ever come back to Glasgow, I want a ticket to see you.
Oasis versus Blur. Are you partial to a particular side?
I can't really say because it's, I what I love about Oasis, man. I don't think. This is hard, man. I don't think Liam Gallagher's not a great singer. I don't think.
Really?
Dare I say that? he's a brilliant front man, and they had, I think what they had at that time when I was growing up, so I was 17, 18, they had attitude, man, real fucking, in your face, rock and roll, let's do it, you know. But Blur, I like Blur actually, to be fair, man, but I think, as much as they were quite similar, obviously from the same kind of period, totally different in their attitude and their energy, I felt, you know. So if I was to say Blur or Oasis, I would say Oasis just for their attitude alone. But sometimes I like Blur more musically, if that makes sense.
What about, was it the same back in the day when the Battle of Britpop was going on for yourself? Or were you...
Oh man, it's funny because I found an old student card in my mum's house a few weeks ago when I was at the University, West of Scotland, Paisley. My hair's long, curly hair, I've got flares on.
You can pick 3 headliners. Who are you choosing?
I can't, mate. You can't do that to me. You can't. I don't know. It's dead or alive.
Up to you.
Oh, I don't know. It's too tough, man. It's too tough. I'd like to somebody with no mention that I love, David Bowie.
Yeah.
You know, Hunky Dory album's up there for me. It's one of the best. Silver Jews. I mentioned the Silver Jews. I think we need to try and find the Silver Jews album in here if we can. I went to see Silver Jews in Paris actually. The only time I've seen them in a small concert venue called the Point Ephemeral. And I got Dave Berman in my drunken state before I stopped drinking to sign my chest, as you do, when you're an idiot. But it was great. But I don't know. It's
That's 2. You need one more headliner.
Stone Roses.
Oh, good shout.
Just because I've not seen them live, and I just loved their stuff.
What's your pick 3 Stone Roses tracks then?
Oh, it's another hard one,
It all comes in 3s.
I mean, his action's a good one, innit? It's up there. I don't know, man. There's so many. Coming Down, you know that one?
Oh yeah.
It's a good wee one. And I like Tears. You know, it's on their album. It's Second Coming.
Oh right.
You know that one, though?
Having one off a Second Coming is a rogue shout, actually.
So, but there's so many. It just depends on your mood at the time, you know. But there's so many.
So obviously you live in France now. What's that like? Like going over to France, being a boy from Pollock? Like, what kind of music do you discover when you end up over there?
Aye, so I mean, that's the thing as well. I mean, as much as I love Paris and France, and they have a lot, you know, a culture and their food, their art. For me, their musical culture's not as strong as ours. They would argue against that, but when I'm talking about like having like the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Oasis, you know, Britpop, all of that, you know, the Who, all of these bands that are iconic, you know, for France. When I look at France, you get guys like Johnny Halliday, you know, Edith Piaf, you know, Charles Nivor. You can say they have some icons, but it's not been something that's taken over the world culturally, you know. So I think they're always kind of missing that. So all of my friends are always quite keen for me to try and teach them a little bit about the kind of British music. This actually got tickets for this guy talking about concerts for my wife in Paris in February, but just don't tell her because I don't know if this is going out before Christmas or not. So special thanks as well to the guys at Assai Records here in Glasgow and Sauchiehall Street for having us. It's been really nice to come and look through some of the albums that have and bring back a lot of cool memories. So thanks for having us, mate. And if anybody's in Scotland and wants to come and visit, then come up and see the guys. Very, very welcoming. I'm sure you'll find something that you like here for sure.